quality control. This is what we do when we receive a parchment sample from growers. When we don't know whether we're going to be able to work with the grower or with a sample yet, we have to go through a certain process. When many folks think about quality control in coffee roasting and consuming countries, normally cupping is what comes to mind. But there's actually quite a few steps before we get there that are also going to determine whether we can work with a grower, including the yield factor of the parchment. So how much good quality green coffee can we get from the parchment, which is what is purchased from the farmer, and then depending on that quality, how good of green coffee are we going to be able to get from that parchment at the dry mill. Since not everything is hand sorted because it would be much too expensive, we have to use machinery to try to separate the sizes of beans and get all the defects we can out of those. And then there are certain grading classifications that we're going to use to show the quality of one type of green coffee. So if this is a really good tasting green coffee, but it has a lot of off-color beans, for example, like happens sometimes with honey and natural process, it's highly possible that even though it tastes really good, we're not going to be able to get it into a quality classification of physical coffee quality to be able to command a high price for it, which is not ideal for anyone. So in this process we're going to figure out exactly what it is we have. We just got some samples from some growers. These are from Pradera, Valle del Cauca, from an indigenous reserve in that area. We have 4. They are labeled here. Parchment coffee, a small amount of each one, about half a kilo. About a half a kilo in total of each one. Sometimes it's a little tricky because in this case we have 4 samples and 2 of them are Comunidad La Fría and the other 2 are Comunidad Carbonera. Are they different? I don't know. So we're going to have to create another label for them just in case there's something different. We don't want to mix them, although I doubt they are. So the first thing we're going to do is weigh this parchment and an increment that we're going to use in this bag. For example, Comunidad La Fría 1. I have my scale here on top of our screens just so you can see it in the camera. We have 273 grams. It's really important to take perfect notes, never mix anything up, because this can be a big deciding factor for the income of a farmer and even a whole community. This is our sample miller machine, Trillora. It's basically just an axle here with a big tooth on it. It's going to spin these beans around against each other, and through friction the shells are going to fall off below into the trash bag here. We use this funnel to put the parchment beans into the chamber here. Push them down. And normally there's a counterweight on the side, but since we have a wall here, I just use my hand today. So make sure that the shells are going where they should, not all over the floor, and start it up. That's it. Now the shells are off. Our neighbors here really love this machine, I think. Spin it upside down and then give it a little pulse to get the ones that were stuck. And that's it. Right after milling and taking the shells off the beans, we need to weigh again to know what is the weight of the shells versus the weight lost by defects. So we're going to measure that really quick. To select the green beans, we're first going to use the screens. It's going to tell us how many of each size bean we have, and going to help us out a little with the manual selection, because the smaller beans and some of the defective ones will fall to the bottom, and we know that they're not good quality, so we won't have to waste our time pulling them out by hand. We have all the screens from, I believe, 18, so above 18 will be 19, it's up here now, down to 12. So put the top back on here, and we're going to give this a good shake. Doesn't take a whole lot. These holes in the screen here are just the perfect size, so we know exactly what number of green coffee bean that corresponds to. So now, here we've got these. We're going to weigh each screen size. Now, we don't always do this, but normally we should, because sometimes if we want to see how much we can do as a Euro Prep or a Supremo or one of these, that depends a lot on the screen size. This is going to have a big effect on our bottom line. But for right now, I probably should have just used the 14 screen, which is going to tell us which beans are too small to use and which ones we can use. Just looking here at the small screen, the 14, we can see there's very little here. So this is indicative of very good quality parchment. Just a few tiny beans here, but not many at all. So we're going to keep these because they're going into the defect pile. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you liked the video and hope you might have learned something from this explanation of the coffee analysis process, which we do for every sample that comes to our mailbox here in Bogota. Please let us know what you think in the comments, and let us know if there are any other topics you'd like us to cover in these videos. So if there's anything you're not sure about, we'd be happy to make a video to cover it, to make sure we're all informed of all the pieces and all the people and all the activities that have to come together to make specialty coffee work. If you'd like to know more about what we're doing with the Smallholder Coffee Growers Collective here in Colombia and in Honduras, please visit directororigin.com. There's plenty of information on there, or email me personally at Karl, K-A-R-L, @directororigin.com. We're also working on a book demystifying the coffee value chain and explaining some of the sustainability initiatives that are out there right now, called No Free Refills. If you want to learn more about that, you can just go to nofreerefillsbook.com. Thank you.